Okay, so this is our class. Mostly we will learn human anatomy and physiology. But in the lab, we will not dissect human. Okay? So we will dissect animals. Especially on, if you take BMS 172, most of the dissection will be during that course, that class. So BMS 171, we don't have many dissection. Maybe we just dissect the eyeball. That's it. But if you pass this class and you take the BMS 172, then you will have a lot of dissections of animals. Mostly we're gonna use the pig, the fetal pig. We're gonna dissect pig on BMS 172. Now, again, yesterday I mentioned that this class consists of two study actually, right? Which is study of anatomy and study of physiology. Again, this coming from scientific name. Usually scientific name has two name, right? Or two words that combine together. Okay? Can you see there are two words over here that make anatomy? What are the two words that make the anatomy? Okay? So this is anatomy, which is cutting. It means that it's from Greek language. It's meaning cutting up. So usually people during the previous time, when they want to learn about anatomy, they have to cut this organ, that and that. Therefore, the name is coming from. Okay. So what is anatomy actually? Study of, what is anatomy? Human body what? Structure. That's very important. Structure. Okay. This is study of body structure. Okay, body structures. You follow this? We only learn the body structure in anatomy. We don't really care about the function, right? We just want to know how it looks like, where it is located, what's the size, what is the color. That's structure. Okay. Now we combine with this physiology. Logy means science, right? Or study of. This is study of. Physio means relation with environment, which is function. Yeah, this is from the Greek language also. Study of body functions. Okay. So in this class, we will learn about human body structure and also their function, the function of that structure. We will not learn about, automobile or air conditioner or computer in this class. We only learn what? Human body structure and function. Can you follow this, right? This is our focus, which is body structure and body function. Yeah, how they look like and how they perform their job, how they are working, right? Now, most of the time, the structure fits with the function. Yeah? Even by just looking the structure, you actually will be able to guess the function. Just looking in the structure, you can actually guess what is the function of the structure. For example, do we have holes in our body? Yes, a lot of them, right? This is hole. Okay. What else? I have hole over here, right? And then there's another hole over here. Over there again. Holes. Look like holes. That's a structure. Hole. What? Now, from this, just looking at that whole structure, what do you think the function of the holes? We can guess, right? What is the function of the hole? For what? Let's say the mouth. What is your mouth used for? what actually it is hole, it means that something can in or out from it, right? That's the hole, just like a gate. Can you see that one? So just seeing the structure, you actually can guess the function, because what? Structure fit the function. It will be the same for all organs that we will learn. You're gonna see how the heart look like that. Why the heart? Lot of muscle on it. What is the function of the heart? Pumping the blood. Pumping the blood. Therefore, it has muscle in it. What is the function of muscle? Boom, contraction. Push the blood out, right? See that one? Just look at the structure. You can guess the function. For everything inside our, even the cell. We're going to learn about the cell later. You're going to see that the structure of the cell is actually very effective for its function. Why it's small, what it has organelle, and etc. Well, now, again, I'm going to give you very easy example for this one. You will not forget it, and you will always should be able to, see or know the function of organ just based on their structure. Look at the one that is in the face. We have two holes, right? Mouth, let's say, and the nose. Both of them has hole, right? And the function is for what? In or out something, right? Now, but if you see closely, okay, there is additional structure that actually present on the nose or the mouth, right? The additional structure will tell you a little bit different function over there. Again, because what? Structure fit for function. Can you follow this? Okay, look at the mouth. What do you have in the mouth? You have teeth. You have tongue, right? And this is also saliva or spit that can be produced in that mouth, right? So it has additional structure over there that can tell you what is the special function of this mouth hole. You with me? Now I look at the nose. Do you see the teeth in the nose? No. What do you see in the nose? Hair. Can you see this? Oh, I have hair in the nose. You get it, man? Now, what else? Sometimes you have something, okay, that is really sticky in the nose, right? Sometimes it's become very solid. You can take it out, and put it under the table. What do you call that? Mucus and become burger. What's it? Bugger? Burger. Okay, not burger. Okay. Can you see that one? I just want to tell you, by just looking at the additional structure, then you know the function of this. Now, what is the function of the teeth? Chew, grinding something, right? What is the function of tongue? Swallow. Sometimes you can taste, yeah? You can sense the taste. Oh, delicious, right? You get that one? Now, from here, then you should be able to know what is the function of the mouth. Eating for digestion, right? This is for digestion, digesting the food. Can you see that one? Now, look at the nose. You also have hole in the nose, but there is no teeth. You have hair. What is the function of the hair? Yes, filtering dust, maybe germ that might be enter into your body. What? From the air. What? What else? What is the mucus function? The same is trapping. What? Trapping dust, trapping the bacteria. If you live in a very polluted place, you will produce more mucus. You will produce more bugger. Compare if you live in nice, unpolluted area. Why? Because that's the function. Now, my question is, which one do you think should be used for breathing? Mouth or the nose? Why? Because that nose has ability to filter the air, right? But can you use your mouth for breathing? Yes, but try not to. Because what? Because in the mouth, you don't have the ability to filter the germ or the dust. It might go to your lung. Are you with me? But in a very emergency situation, yes, it's okay to breathe with the mouth. But mouth is actually, the primary function is not for breathing, but it is for digestion. Can you follow this? Right? That's easy. You can see other example. Over here, you have also hole. What? Do you see any teeth? Do you see any? Do you have hair also sometime over here, right? And you have another thing, it's called not burger. What do you call it? Wax. What is the wax function? The same. Like, and this is actually mucous membrane also to trap something entering into your ear and etc. Can you follow this? Okay. So again, structure will always fit with the function. When you're learning about the structure of an organ, for example, then you should be able to tell or guess, oh, the function going to be like this. The function going to be like this. Okay? Do you have question for this one? Okay. So this is our focus. Okay? We're going to learn about structure and function. And 99% maybe we only learns the normal body structure and normal body function. Okay, this is what we call the homeostasis. Okay, so in this class, yeah, majority that we're gonna learn is normal organ, normal function. We might learn a little bit abnormal organ, maybe if you have disease, if you have problem, we're gonna learn a little bit also over there. Okay, because our job over here, try to know which organ is normal, how it look like. Okay, and which function is normal, how they work. If it is abnormal, what happened? Then you have disease, what kind of disease, and etc. Okay, so in this class, mostly we will learn normal body structure and normal body function. And this normal body function will always controlled by our body. This is what we call the homeostasis, which is the normal internal body conditions. This is our focus. We're going to learn the normal body condition. And again, this is called homeostasis. Again, this is also coming from two words over here. Coming from homo and stasis. Right? What does homo mean? The same. What is stasis? Condition. So homeostasis means the same condition or normal condition. Are you with me? Example. Example. Body temperature. Okay, body temperature. What is our normal body temperature? That's very fixed number. How about we have 98? Are we still normal? Yes. How if our body temperature is 97? It is normal? Yes. How about 96? Still yes, right? How about 50? Whoa, you die. How about 107? What? Get this one? So, the normal body temperature, or homeostasis for body temperature, okay, usually it's not fixed number, but it's range of number. Okay, so this is the range. Okay, so homeostasis usually in the range of condition or number. Example, body temperature maybe around 96 to maybe 99, still normal, right? Is that correct? So you are 98, that's good. If you're 98.4, that's good. Okay, 98.7, good. 96. That is range of number. It is not fixed number. Are you with me? Now, how about blood pressure? BP. What is normal? 120/80, right? That's usually that you got it, right? But how about if our blood pressure is 116/76? It is still normal? Yeah, still normal, right? It is range of number. It's not one number. It is not fixed number. You get this one? Okay, so this is what we call the homeostasis. This is what we'll learn in this class. We're going to learn about homeostasis. And this homeostasis will always maintain. Okay? Always maintains, never stop, okay, by our structure and the function. It's never stop maintaining homeostasis. If we stop maintaining homeostasis, then we will have problem. Okay? You get this one? So you actually never stop maintaining homeostasis. So our body never take a rest, right, in maintaining the homeostasis. Okay? Now, what happens if, for example, homeostasis is not maintained? Okay? Then you might have maybe three problems, three conditions. First, let's say what happens if your body temperature is 103. What do you call it? What do you have? Fever. What is fever? Mostly we call it as maybe we have disease, we have illness, right? Maybe we have infection, then our body temperature is increasing, right? So if we are unable to maintain the homeostasis, that we might have illness or disease. Okay, like flu, what else? TB, okay? High blood pressure, right? That's all what we call the illness. Are you with me? Another things, there are people that actually born with abnormality. Yeah? They might have extra chromosome. Are you with me? Like example, they have extra chromosome number 21. Yeah, they have 46 chromosome. Oh, that's normal. They have 47 chromosome. What do you call that syndrome? Extra chromosome in number 21. Down syndrome. Do you think the Down syndrome is normal or abnormal? It's abnormal. They're always abnormal. Because what? Because normally we only have 46 chromosome. If you have extra, then something else will happening. They have maybe problem with their heart, they have problem with the brain, and etc. Because what? It is not. The homeostasis is not maintained due to extra things, right? In this case, the abnormality that coming from that condition is called disorders. Okay? Disorders. Now, what is the difference between illness and disorder? Anybody can tell? Can anybody tell the difference between disorder and illness?
It's like genetic, the other one's like environmental.
I'm sorry?
It's like one genetic and the other is like environmental.
It could be, yeah. Yeah. So, but usually the illness and disease, you can actually observe it easily, okay? And you can find out what is going on. And usually there is an easy or there is a medicine that can cure that. It's very, the what you call it, if you diagnose someone, then you have the symptom. The symptom is fixed. You can see the things. Like, for example, if you have flu, what is the symptom? Fever, what? Sometimes coughing. That's illness. Are you with me? The symptom is easy to observe. And usually the medicine or the cure also can be easy to apply for illness or disease. Can you follow this? Disorder is different. The symptoms are complex. They have many problems with their body due to of this condition. Let's say Down syndrome. It's a very complex condition on their body, actually. It is not easy to be cured. That's right. So that's disorder. Okay, but both of them actually due to the inability of our body to maintain our homeostasis. Are you with me? Right? Now, what is the last one? Do you think what happened if you are unable to maintain your homeostasis? You have to say bye-bye to the world. You die because what? You actually unable to maintain the homeostasis. Your body is just give up. I give up, and then I die. Death. Eh? So deaf people, they don't they don't have the ability to maintain their homeostasis. They're dead. Gone. Okay? You still alive, why? Because you maintain your homeostasis. You might have illness sometime, but you can go back. You can be normal again. You get cured. Can you follow this? Okay? So this is our focus in this class. We're going to learn about structure and function, mostly normal structure, normal function. Okay? And then we're going to try to see what we need to do in order to maintain this homeostasis. Okay? What organs perform this homeostasis? What chemicals perform this homeostasis? Okay? Are you with me? Now, in order to go here, then we have to learn from very beginnings. I'm going to erase this one. Okay? Okay. Now, in order to understand the physiology, how body works, to maintain homeostasis, for example, then we have to learn the anatomy first. That's very important. Otherwise, we cannot really learn about physiology. Again, remember, anatomy fit with the physiology. Structure fit with the function. To understand the function, we have to understand the structure. Okay, now human body. Okay, we're going to talk, let's say, human. Okay, so our body is actually really, really organized. You know? It's really organized. If we kind of dissolve our body into the smallest part, okay, then we will have what do you call the smallest structure of matter? Atom. So our body is actually consists of trillions of atoms. Well, it's really highly organized, starting from atoms. Okay? There are at least about 6 major atoms in our body. Right? What is the first one? Oxygen. We have a lot of oxygen in our body. We have a lot of carbon, of course. Organic molecule, they have carbon. We have a lot of hydrogen atoms. Nitrogen, sulfurous, and phosphorus. These are the 6 main major atoms in our body. We have other atoms that is less in concentration. We have calcium, what? We have sodium, we have iron, zinc, but they are lesser number, yes.
That word means like CH.
CHON.
Yeah, like OPS, something like that. It makes it like acronym.
Yeah, you remember by acronym. That's good. Yeah, yeah. You can the way you memorize something, you can use in acronym. You can also use the what you call it, mnemonic, something like that. But these are the 6 major atoms that we have. Now, this atom, most of the time, they will not be by themselves. Most of the time, they will combine with other atoms. They will combine with other atoms. Now, what do you call that combination of atoms? Molecule. So you're going to have that atom will create molecules. So that atom become molecules. Mostly, atom in our body will be in the form of molecules. Okay, you get this one? Example. There are two types of molecule. The first one is called the inorganics. And the second one, what is, you have inorganic and the other one will be? Come on. Anybody? Organics, yeah. So it's going to be inorganics molecule and organics molecules, right? Now, the inorganic molecule means simple. Simple molecules. Then the organics molecules will be complex molecules. Anybody take inorganic chemistry or organic chemistry? It's different over there. In organic chemistry, you're gonna learn simple molecule. When you take organic chemistry, it's gonna be more difficult. We're gonna learn complex molecules. Get it? Now, simple molecules mean this is molecules that maybe only consist of 2, 3, 4, or maybe 5 atoms. That's it. No more than that. That's simple organic. Okay, simple molecule. It's called the inorganics. Okay, we have a lot in our body, these simple inorganic molecules. Example, what do you call the molecules that you drink? What do you call the molecule that you drink? H2O, water, right? What is the formula? H2O. Do you see that one? H2O. How many atoms in this molecule? 3. 2 hydrogens, 1 oxygen, right? 70% of our body is actually consists of H2O, water. Get it? Okay. When you breathe in, you breathe the air. Okay. What do you call the air that you breathe in? That's very important for your body. Oxygen. We have a lot of oxygen in our body. Only 2 atoms. And then you have to breathe out the molecule that may be toxic for your body. Carbon dioxide. You see that one? That's example of inorganic molecules. Simple. Are you with me? Now, the second one, we also have organic molecules in our body. And this one consists mostly of 4 types. Okay? The first one is called a lot of carbohydrates. Right? What is the example of carbohydrates? You take it every day. Sugar, starch, what? That's carbohydrate. Yeah? They have many molecules of many atoms in the carbohydrate, even 1,000 or maybe million. Starch, for example, it has a lot of sugar in it. Therefore, it's called the polysaccharide, a lot of sugar. Right? Next one, if you eat, let's say, meat, you're going to take a lot of proteins, right? So protein is another example of, and we have a lot of proteins in our body. Protein is very important for us, okay, to maintain homeostasis, for example. Enzyme, for example, are example of proteins. And enzyme is very important for reaction. Get it? What else? Sometimes if you eat meat, there is something else over there that also enter to your body. What is it? Sodium. Sodium is atom. It's very simple. We're talking about organic molecule over here. Something that make you bigger. Fat. Fat make you fat, right? That's what we call fat. Or we call it lipids. Lipids, which is consists of fat, oils, margarine. That's lipids. We have a lot of lipids in our body. When we need lipids, Our cholesterol is actually lipids. Get it? Cholesterol is a lipids molecules, which is organic. What is the last one? It is mostly carried by your nucleus inside the cell. And this is the one that carry your character that can be inherited to your children. What you call that? Yeah, what molecule is that make the gene? That molecule is look like this. Long molecule. Yeah, okay. And the other one look like this. What do you call that? This one is called the DNA or RNA. Okay. These are the examples of organics molecules, and we have this because this is our organization, right? Starting from atoms, creating molecules. Now, these molecules then will create organization. I can make a picture like this, that will consist of cell membrane, and then there's a nucleus over here. That nucleus carry the DNA over here, right? And there is organelle, ribosome that produce protein, RER, SER, Golgi apparatus, lysosome, peroxisome, right? And then mitochondria. Right? Now, what do you call this? This is the cell. So these molecules will organize into cell. Now look at the cell. Look at the cell. The cell membrane mostly consists of lipids. See that one? That's molecules. So lipid molecules will create that cell membrane. Are you with me? Inside here, this is called the cytoplasm, right? Cytoplasm mostly consists of what? There's a simple molecule over here. What mostly actually inside your cytoplasm? Anybody? That reason why you have to drink. What is that? Yeah, this water over here. So 70% of your cell is actually consists of water. It's water there. Get it? Yeah? And water is example of inorganic molecules. Okay? Look at the ribosome over here. Ribosome is going to be produce a lot of proteins. So a lot of proteins also present in your cell. Okay? Golgi apparatus produce a lot of enzyme. Enzyme is example of protein. Sometimes Golgi also produce hormone. Okay? Like for example, what is the male hormones called? Testosterone. Testosterone is actually lipids. It's a lipid hormone. Right? So it's produce hormone like lipid hormone, cholesterol, estrogen, progesterone, insulin. Insulin is a protein. You see that one? So that's the combination of molecule making the cell. Therefore, we're gonna learn about the cell next time. Okay, after we learn about the chemicals. Okay, now the cell that has closely relation or have kind of functions located in the same place. Okay, they're gonna organize together to create what do you call the organization of cells? What is cell organized into? Come on, anybody can guess? Tissue. So your tissue actually consists of many cells. This is organization of cell. It's called tissue. In human body, we only have 4 types of tissue. Okay? The first one is the tissue that usually cover your organs and protect the organ. It's consists of many cells that join together closely, tightly. That's the reason the function is protecting the organs. Okay? Layer, making layer. That tissue is called the ET, epithelial tissue. Okay, so epithelial tissue. Example is in our skin. Our skin mostly consists of epithelial tissue. It's protecting our inside organ. You can see that one? Right? The cell will be tightly. There are many layers, 1,000 layers on that tissue because the function is for protection. The second type of tissue is the one that used for communication, carrying something, okay? And that one is called CT, connective tissue. Example is our blood. Blood is a tissue, consists of many cells. What is the main cell in the blood that making the blood become red? What do you call the blood cell in the blood that color red? The red blood cell, right? Million of them. What is another type of cell that you also have in the blood that usually protect you from the disease? White blood cell. And then there is another type of cell in the blood that actually protecting you from the bleeding. It will clot your blood. Platelets. See what? Cell, making a tissue. And this tissue mostly used for communication, transportation, etc. Red blood cell is to carry the oxygen, right? Transportation. White blood cell to fight, protect you from disease. Okay? So, this is the second type of tissue. It's called connective tissue. We're going to learn this also later. Right? The next one is called the tissue that used for contraction. It has the ability to be longer or shorter. What you call that type of tissue? Muscle tissue. Muscle tissue. Okay, muscle tissue. There are 3 types of muscle. Skeletal muscle, which is the one that moves your body. The other muscle is in your heart. What do you call that muscle? Cardiac muscle, to pump the blood. What? Contract, pumping the blood. And the last muscle is called the smooth muscle, which is on the lining of your internal organ. We're going to learn that one later. Okay? Next, the last type of tissue is the tissue that make you nervous. What do you call that tissue? Nervous tissue. Nervous tissue. This is the one that will control your action. Therefore, nervous is action. Okay, tissue. You follow this? Now, these 4 different type of tissue, they can also organize. Making what? What do you call the organization of tissue? Organs. Organs. Okay, organs. Let's say, give the easy example is the heart. The heart is an organ, right? I don't bring the heart, right? It look like this, right? Outside the heart, we actually have epithelial tissue. It's covering, protecting the heart. Okay? And then, inside the heart, on the wall of the heart, you have a very thick tissue that pump the blood. What do you call that tissue? So you have epithelial tissue, then you have the tissue that contract. What do you call that tissue? Muscle tissue. In this case, it's called the cardiac muscle, right? Okay. In that heart, you have the tissue that have to be pumped, which is example of connective tissue. What tissue that is pumped from your blood? From your heart. That's the answer, actually. which is the blood. Right? And blood is connective tissue. Can you follow that? Okay. Now, in order to contract, whether you contract it faster or slower, it has to be controlled by, for example, your brain. What? And the brain put the nervous tissue in your heart. You see that one? So the heart is example organ that has all this type of tissue in it. Because what? Organ consists of tissue. Tissue organized into organ. We have 1,000 types of organs. Therefore, the easy way to learn about the organ is by knowing their organization. So some organ that have the same function to produce the same function will organize together to create a, what is the name of organization of organ? Called system, or we can call it organ system. Okay? Now it's going to be easy for us to know the organ by putting them on their organ system. I'm going to erase this one to put the organ system over here. Okay? In human body, we have 11 organ system. Okay. We start from system that is outside in the superficial place that protect the whole body. That consists of skin. Okay? Now, what do you call that system? Anybody can tell the name of the system that integumentary skin? Integumentary system. Integumentary system. Okay. Now, what are the organ for this one? The organ is actually only one for this system. Only one organ. The skin. Skin plus accessory structure. Okay. So that's the, I'm gonna erase this one. Okay, skin. Skin is the only organ for this system. But it has additional structure on the skin, like the hair, what? The oil gland, the sweat gland, that accessory structure is not really organs. Okay, you follow this? What is the function of the skin? Protect our body. Okay, only one organ, skin. Okay, what is the second system? Let's say we're going down from the skin. You have really, if you're a man, you can show it up. This is my muscle. What do you call all muscles in your body? All of them will make system. You actually have about 700 muscle, and each muscle has name. Therefore, each muscle is actually an organ. Example, I can show you my muscle over here. Okay, look at this muscle over here. What? Now, what do you call this muscle here? Bicep. What? That's one organ, bicep. Okay, and I have here. Okay, also, what do you call it? Tricep. What? You guys want? So each muscle has name because each muscle is an organ. There are 700 of them. We have frontal muscle over here, right? We have cheek muscle over here. 700. All of them will make one system. What do you call that? Muscular system. Okay? Consists of about 700 muscles. We will learn this also, but not all 700 muscle, at least muscle that important for your movement. Okay? Now, number 3. That muscle, most of this muscle will attach to organs that can be moved. Therefore, we can also move because of that organ moving. Now, what you call the organs that actually attached by this muscle? and then able to be moved. It's called bones, right? Bones, and the whole bones in our body is called skeleton. Anybody know how many bones in our body? Normally, 206. Eh? There are 206 bones. So this system consists of 206 bones, and each bone is one organ. Like over here, we have bone called, anybody know what is the humerus, right? We have radius ulna. There are 2 over here, right? We have 5. We have 8 over here. We have 14 over here. You have 14 bone over here. Okay? So total, we have 206 bone. And all of these bone, these organs, creating the system called the skeletal system. You get this one? Hey, next. Let's say this system consists of mouth. And then we have teeth, tongue, esophagus. What is system going to be? Okay, because their function for digestion, therefore it's called the digestive system. Now what organs over here? You can put from the first hole to the last hole. Okay, you can name it from the top to the bottom. Mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and bye-bye, anus. And then you have also additional structure over there. You have liver, you have pancreas, you have gallbladder, you have teeth, you have tongue, you have salivary glands. That's all organs for this digestive system. Mouth through anus, you name it. Follow the track. Okay, next. This is the system consists of organ like nose, and then your pharynx, your larynx, your trachea, bronchus, bronchioles, and finally lungs. What you call that system? Respiratory. Used for respiration, right? Respiratory system. From nose to the lungs. There are several organs that make this system. Okay, next. Let's say this system, what is next? The easy one. Oh, this system is used for, let's say if you have the disease, then you're gonna fight that disease. Like Kung Fu Panda. What? Immune system. Immune system, but sometimes it's also called as lymphatic system. Now, what are the organs gonna be? Because immune system mostly done by your what blood cell? Remember, what blood cell is a cell, it's not organ. So the organ will be the one that produce the blood cell, like red bone marrow. What? That's the organ gonna be. So you have red bone marrow, you have thymus glands, okay? You have lymph nodes. You have a lot of lymph nodes over here on the neck, for example. Right? So that's organs that's used for immune system. Next, the blood. Remember, bloods are connective tissue. It is not organ, right? It is not organs. So the blood sometimes had to be pumped, okay, and then carried into the one that is needed. Right? Now, what do you call the system that circulate the blood? Circulatory. Right? Sometime in your book is called cardiovascular system. Circulatory system or cardiovascular cardiovascular system, CV system. Okay? Now from the function, you know, oh, this is circulation. That's actually telling you the function. If you use this name, circulatory system. But if you use this name, cardiovascular system, it's actually telling you the organs. Eh? There are two organs over there that make this cardiovascular system or circulatory system. What is the first one? C, cardio. The heart. Good job. It consists of heart. And what is the vascular? Vein and arteries. They call blood vessel. Okay? So this consists of arteries and vein. Okay? So only two organs actually for the circulatory system or cardiovascular system. Okay? Get it? Next. What is the next system that you can think? Let's say this is the one that produces insulin, growth hormone, testosterone. What do you call that system? Endocrine system. Endocrine system produce hormone, right? And the organs gonna be organ that produce hormone. Example, okay, in your brain, you have organ is called the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland. And this gland produce a lot of hormone. 9 hormone produced by these glands, including growth hormones, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, LH, many of them. We're gonna learn this later. Another one, for example, you have gland over here on your neck that look like butterfly, produce the thyroid hormone. It's called the thyroid gland, right? Thyroid gland. And many more, including the gland that produce the estrogen, for example. What organ that produce estrogen? Come on. No, we're not talking about the system yet. We're still in the endocrine system and the organ of endocrine system that produce estrogen. What is the organ that produce estrogen? Come on. You have it. I don't have it. What produce estrogen? What organ? Ovary, right? Ovary is also part of the endocrine system. Even though this is also part of reproductive system later. This is what we call the mixed organ. They have two functions. As endocrine system and as a reproductive system. Okay? How about in the male? What organ that produce testosterone? What is the name? Testicle. I have it. Okay, you don't have it. Okay. They have it over here. Right? Testicle. Testicle. You can put over here a lot. Many of them. We're gonna learn endocrine system later. Next, lesson number 9. This is. She already mentioned this one. What the system? Reproductive system. Reproductive system. And for this one is very special for the reproductive system because in order to reproduce, you need 2 genders. It cannot be done just with one gender. Therefore, the organs will be divided into 2 organs, 2 type organ. Gonna be male and female. Okay, so male organs. So this is the symbol for male, and female. This is the symbol, the female organ. Male organ, for example, of course, the organ that produce the sperm is called the testicle, and then the sperm will go to a lot of channel from that, epididymis, a lot of ducts coming from that. Okay, and etc. And female, the same. Ovary, you have oviduct, you have uterus, you have vajayjay, and then okay, so that's the reproductive system. What else? Urinary system. A urinary system. And from the name, you should be able to know the function, right? What is the urinary function? Urinary system? To urinate, to produce urine. Therefore, the organs will be the organ that produce urine. Urine is actually blood filtration. The blood will be filtered by this organ, and then the waste will go to the urine. Now, what are the organs that filter the blood to produce urine? You have two on the back over here. Kidneys. And then from the kidneys, you have ureters, two of them. And then save it a little bit in the bladder. And then there is a urethra from that. That's the organ of the urinary system. From kidney, okay, to the outside, to urethra. Okay, the last one. What system that we have not talked yet? We have integumentary, skeletal, digestive, respiratory, immune system, endocrine. Yeah, the one that make us nervous, right? The nervous system. Okay, nervous system. This nervous system actually only consists of 3 organs. Only 3 organs. The first one is here. What do you call it? Brain. Second one is continue from the brain. What do you call it? Spinal cord. And the last one is the one that out from your brain and also out from your spinal cord. All of them is called nerve. Okay? So brain, spinal cord, and nerve. We will learn about this later. Okay? So these are the 11 system in human body. And this 11 system will continue over here. I'm going to erase this because we need this one. All these 11 system will make us as an organism. Okay. So this is us. This is us, organism, which is really organized. Organized with this, starting from atoms, molecules, until our cell. Therefore, when we study about that homeostasis, anatomy, physiology, we will start from the atoms. We will not really learn a lot about chemistry, but at least we're going to learn a little bit about chemistry because what? It is part of our body. And then we're going to learn the cell. We're going to learn the tissue. We will learn the organ system and, of course, our body structure and function as the whole organism. Do you have question over here? No. Now, from this 11 organ system, I'm going to erase this. Now we're going back to our job, which is maintaining this, right? Homeostasis. Remember, homeostasis is the normal body condition that we have to maintain every second, every time. Okay? Now, how we maintain it? We maintain with this homeostasis with a system we call this a feedback loop or system. Okay? So we maintain homeostasis by using this mechanism. It's called the feedback loop or mechanism or system. You follow this? Okay? And there are 2 types of feedback loop. Okay? The first one is called Mostly we're gonna use this one first. Negative feedback system or loop or mechanism. So I'm gonna just use the loop. So you will not confuse with the organ system, right? We're gonna use loop or mechanism. Feedback, negative feedback loop or feedback mechanism. Of course, we have positive feedback loop. Okay? To maintain homeostasis, usually 90% we use this one. Negative loop. We rarely use the positive, but we still use it. About maybe 10% of our activities or our action or our process to maintain the positive one. Are you with me? Now, this feedback loop or system consists of 3 components. Okay, this is type. Right? There are 2 types of feedback loop. Okay? And there are 3 components for feedback loop. Okay? The first component will be the components or the structure that receive stimulus or information, maybe from outside or from inside. Now, what do you call things that receive information in our body? All of them is called receptors. Okay? All of them is called receptors. Okay? Example. If somebody touch you, can you feel it? Do you know why? Because you have touch receptor in your skin. Get it? If you put hand on the stove, can you feel the heat? Why? Because you have thermoreceptor in your body, on the skin. Can you follow this? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Why? You have the hear receptor in your ear. Can you see me? Why? You have photoreceptor in your eyes, right? All of this is called receptor. Anything that receives information, stimulus, is called receptor. Many of them. We're going to learn that later. Next, from the receptors, that information will be carried into the organs that will process that information. And this is the control part. It's called the control center. Okay? Mostly our control center will be located in the brain. Okay? So brain has the main control center. Are you with me? After the brain or control center process it, then it will produce the response, right? It will be response. And the response has to be done by the next component. And this is the component that perform action. Your brain do not perform action actually. The brain just processing, blah, blah, blah. It will be acted by this next component. Anybody know what is the name? The structure that perform action, all of them is called the effectors. Effectors. And we only have 5 types of effectors in our body actually. It is easier than the receptor. We have many receptors, but effector is actually only 5 types. So organ that perform action in our body is actually only 5 type of organs. What is that? First, 3 of them over here will be muscle. Remember, muscle able to contract, right? Therefore, action. What is the first muscle going to be? This is the one that moves your body. It's called the skeletal muscle. What? The action is move your body. You with me? What is the second muscle? This is the one that pump the blood It is located in the heart, cardiac muscle. Cardiac. We're talking about organ, right? We're talking about organ, not the system. Okay? And the last muscle is the one that's located in your hollow organ, internal organ. It's called the smooth muscle. Okay? So three of the effectors are muscle. And the other two is actually glands. Because what? Because gland produce things. That's action, production. Okay? We already mentioned, the one that produce like insulin, testosterone, and those progesterone, what? What you call that gland? It is part of the endocrine system over here. What do you call that gland? It's going to be called the endocrine gland. Okay, so endocrine gland. Okay, so this part of endocrine system. Because what? They produce hormones. There is a second type of gland that also produce something, but it is not hormone. That gland is called the exocrine glands. Okay. The name is actually telling you what is the difference over here. First, endocrine gland produce hormone. Second, endo. Endo mean inside. So that product is actually stay inside your body. See that? Your hormone stay in your body. It's not going out from your body. Are you with me? The second gland over here is called exocrine. It means that the product is actually exit from your body. Okay? The product is exiting your body. Exit gland. Now, what is an example of this exocrine gland? Like, for example, the one that produce sweat. What? Sweat is out from your body. What do you call that gland? Sweat gland. In your ear. And your ear. See, I'm showing this, but I say ear. In your eyes, there is a gland that produces the tear. What do you call that? Tear gland. Lacrimal gland. Right? On the wax. On the ear, you have gland that produce wax. What do you call that? Wax gland. Okay, we're gonna see the name later. Cereminous gland, something like that. Right? And then what else? The gland that is out from your enzyme, for example. Okay, so there are many glands that produce enzyme. There are also exocrine gland. So these are the effector. Now I give you example for this. These three components and the system over here. Let's say, oh, we're already out of time. I think we're gonna finish here, right? And then we'll give you the example, easy example of this feedback system and the components that perform that mechanism. Anybody have questions? If not, then I'll see you on Tuesday, next week.
I'll go.